We should know.
Is our mission tonight to give you a number of what we will pledge? Is that what this?
I think either that or a commitment to pay whatever else is
I
necessary.
think we need to pay whatever else. I'm sorry. Whatever.
Based on the
Say that
recommendation of the
again.
committee and.
Say that again.
Whatever's necessary to supplement the contract until next fall.
Well, see, but I had this discussion with the judge this morning. I don't know if this is really what you were talking about, but in the commissioner's motion, you did 50,000 for 3 years, which amounts to 150,000.
Right.
Okay. But we're not gonna need it for 3 years. We need it for just this interim period. And so what my thinking was that, okay, if the board, and we're looking at most likely somewhere around $250,000 that we think at this month. And if we said, okay, this board would authorize 150,000, or pledge 150,000. And then if the city was not able to make a contribution or a small contribution, if the county would step up and instead of doing 50,000 times 3 years, would do 100,000 in that interim period, then we get to the 250, and you've actually paid 50. I don't know if you look at it that way or not.
Right. We're looking down the line over a 3-year period. I mean, we would have to raise taxes also.
Well, no, see, I don't think so.
Right.
Here's what I'm saying, I don't think so, because if it's done right, and either the EMS2 or the hospital district, they're gonna pick up all of the taxes for that subsidy.
Oh, after that is established, yeah.
That would start October the 1st.
If it can be established.
But they don't have 100,000 in the budget, that's the problem.
Neither do we.
They-
I'm just saying, but that's where we are, we've got to have it in the interim. And so that was kind of what my thinking was, that if we were to pledge up to, if it required, up to 150, and then that would leave, and it did turn out, let's say, to be 250, then that would leave y'all, absent for the city contribution, at 100,000, but that would still be 50,000 less than the 150 that you pledged over 3 years. It's just going to be less money, but more compact time frame.
I have a question. Would it be true statement that says, as a result of the decision that you, the hospital board, have made, that no matter what happens, the taxpayers of this county are going to get their taxes raised? No matter what happens? Because like with the ambulance service, I think that came as part of the East Texas Medical Center's deal with us, right? So we aren't presently paying for an ambulance service. And now we'll have to pay for one no matter what happens. Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to have to raise taxes to do that. But as a result of you getting rid of East Texas Medical Centers or terminating their contract, we're going to see a tax hike in Houston County. Am I correct?
No,
Really?
yeah, they have pulled out of multiple, they are not just pulling out of Houston County, they're pulling out of Trinity County.
Yes,
They're
I heard.
pulling out of multiple counties.
Yeah.
This is not the result, and the same thing with the hospital themselves. East Texas Medical Center is pulling out of rural medicine across the board. Now, there's a lot of PR out there saying it is the consequence of this board.
Mm-hmm.
It is their policy to get out of rural medicine. They're pulling their ambulance services out. They're pulling out of hospitals all over. So it's not just, now maybe every single one of those boards and every single one of those entities pissed off ET&C and exact. But it seems like they're doing this across the board in rural areas. The money, and I understand why they're doing it. The money that is collected from Medicare and the money that's collected from Medicaid and rural hospitals have a high percentage of no pay. The money isn't there.
Sure.
It's no longer worth their while to invest in small community hospitals.
So then what you're
Therefore-
saying is that it's East Texas Medical Center that has chosen to leave Houston County rather than you, the board, have
Yes.
chosen to terminate your contract with East Texas Medical Center? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're
I know
leading
they're
us
leading
along
us.
with many other
Yeah.
communities.
I think we need to clarify something, is that ETMC EMS is a different entity.
It certainly is.
Than ETMC, the hospital,
Yes.
okay? So I'm an EMS supervisor here for Houston and Trinity County. Now, I haven't had authorization from Tyler to speak. But what is public record and that's been made known is like I said, it's saying, maybe to try to clarify some of your, I don't think that the ETMC EMS portion of us leaving this county has anything to do whatsoever with this hospital board.
Well, no, it doesn't, except for the fact that since you guys are gonna be leaving the determination of the contract, the citizens of Houston County are gonna have to pick up the cost
Correct.
for the decision that was made.
Right. Which was
And
ETMC's decision.
it was ETMC's decision from the beginning.
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
I talked to a lot of citizens in Houston County, and I'm not by anything opposed or by any means.
Right.
But it seems that the county, the citizens of the county don't really understand what this is all about. Except that all of a sudden now, we're not gonna have a hospital run by East Texas Medical Center. And you know, this has been a long-term kind of thing, so I don't really know all the details, but I guess my question would be, should we be ready for a tax hike
Well,
when you make this decision?
Okay,
and
let
contract-
me address that,
Sure.
okay? And this, again, let's not talk about this hospital tax district and the EMS. Again, it gets down to monies generated. You look at rural medicine throughout the state of Texas and throughout the country. Hospitals are closing left and right. There's many, an increasing number of counties in Texas, and there's an increasing number of counties in rural states throughout the United States that are losing the hospital, and that's disastrous. The monies, at one time, you could rely on the federal government and the state government to subsidize those hospitals enough those monies would be there, and it was profitable for people to come out into a small rural community and run a hospital and run an emergency medical system and all that. Those monies, like everything else, have been cut drastically. So now, it's a decision not just in this hospital, not just this county. It's counties throughout the state of Texas, and it's counties throughout, rural counties throughout the United States, if they want those services. And there's no mandate that says they have to have those services. That's the other thing. If they want to have those services, they're going to have to belly up.
Sure.
Period. So there's no longer free lunch. People, if you want a service, you're going to have to pay for it. And it has been changed so that instead of being paid for from above, state taxes and federal taxes, it now has to come from the local communities. And yes, there will be a tax raise no matter what you want. If you want a hospital, if you want an ambulance service, that's what it's going to be. Because those monies don't come from other sources. They'll have to come local. And we live in a very nice time in which, for a number of years, those monies were sufficient, but they aren't now. And if you look at places that do not have tax districts, for instance, and let's talk about, I think it's Cleveland, I think it's Cleveland. Cleveland, is it Cleveland or Livingston? I forgot which one. They had two hospitals. Okay, if you know where that is, Houston in that area is growing up dramatically. I mean, that area is growing out there dramatically, and these aren't poor people. These are people who have excellent jobs in the oil and gas industries and executives and people like that. That is really high-priced housing. A lot of areas. They do not have a tax district, and guess what? No entity is interested in going in there and putting in the hospital. So that whole area has people coming up, it's rapid growth. You know, you would say a private hospital would go, oh, yippee, this is great money. They say no. So there's an area without the indigents, with a huge growing tax base. They don't have a hospital tax district or something else to do it, and they can't get a hospital. Now, that is pretty dramatic. If you were to go around and someone would tell you that, it defies logic. You would say, surely it's there. But the hospital accountants put pencil to paper and say no. So, what we're talking about, and this is not what we're talking about tonight, what you're talking about in general is that the people of this county must decide what